in the UK Treasury Select Committee has come out with a report that has concluded that the UK should regulate crypto the same as gambling. And this is quite interesting. So they say currencies such as Bitcoin have no intrinsic value and serve no useful social purpose. I think a lot of people might disagree with that. Definitely for the no useful social purpose part. I kind of agree with the no intrinsic value because it only has value if someone attaches value to it. But at least you can say with Ethereum, there are smart contracts. It can serve some purpose. Basically what they say, how they conclude this report is we strongly recommend the government regulates retail trading and investment activity in unbacked crypto assets as gambling rather than financial advice, consistent with its stated principle of same risk, same regulatory outcome. And this is the full report. There's a graph on there where they show you just how volatile to the uneducated person looking at that looks pretty scary graph. Kind of like the Nikkei, to be honest. That's the 1990.
But that's what I was thinking. I was like, well, don't people short stocks and then like what isn't that really what the markets are? Gambling with a little bit of education behind them?
It's educated gambling, I would say. Trading is always more similar to gambling, although you can protect yourself from certain risk with things like stop loss orders and things. There are some more techniques to it, but essentially it's sort of like gambling. So yeah, maybe stock trading should be regulated as gambling too. But I think it's kind of funny because, you know, in the UK, casinos are everywhere. Like they have casinos at highway rest stops and stuff in the UK. And like, so I thought, well, is it really going to be any different? You know, it's not like New York where, you know, or most states in the US where casinos are banned and except for certain areas or whatever. So anyway, I had a look to see what regulations would be placed on this thing if the government decides to take the recommendations. And basically one thing there would be licenses. So you'd have to have a license to be an exchange for crypto. Another thing is that there's this whole thing about advertising. So you wouldn't be able to advertise crypto trading in the same way. You'd have to, you know, go with all these regulations for gambling advertising. So in the UK, you cannot portray or condone or encourage gambling behavior that's socially irresponsible, etc. You cannot link gambling to seduction or sexual success. Basically, you can't show someone gambling and then, you know, all the women want to go out with him or something because he's won. So, you know, there's a lot of regulations around it. You can't show anyone who appears to be under 25 doing it, even though the legal age for it's 18. But the funny thing was that the report actually points out that the UK government, in partnership with the Royal Mint, was trying to develop an NFT for a digital Britain. It's probably like a program really to encourage investment and stuff. I doubt the NFT really is supposed to do anything, but the UK government drops the plan for the NFT. I guess with the crypto winter, the crypto bear market, they were like, oh, this isn't a good look. But the report criticizes them even more for it. So, you know, basically saying government assets shouldn't be used to develop cryptocurrencies, leave it to the private sector. Although the funny thing is the government actually has owned several gambling companies in the past. It's kind of amusing to me.
So at rest stops in Britain, do they have like blackjack tables, people dealing?
It's normally machines. Yeah, it's like a machine, a casino with just slot machines. There'll be an attendant on there just making sure people under 18 don't go in there. But yeah, I saw that last time at Christmas when I went there. It's more like if you've been to the Las Vegas airport, they'll have like a load of slot machines just there where you're waiting. Yeah.
Nevada works the same way. If you're on Heavenly Ski Resort, you go down on the California side, there's no slot machines. You go down on the Nevada side, there's slot machines inside the ski lodge.
Right. So,
yeah. Nevada is basically like that, the whole state.
I never got slot machines, man. I don't find that fun at all. I went to this casino. A new casino opened in Hudson Valley. It's all slots, electronic table games, and I find it really boring. I feel like if you're going to go, you need the fun of a real live dealer and a load of people playing with you. You know what I mean?
There's no dealers at the new casino?
Not Resorts World Hudson Valley. There's no live dealers. It's all just slots and video poker and video blackjack and stuff.
Every time I play those, I'm like, these are rigged. I don't care what anyone says.
I think they're rigged, yeah. And well, I mean, supposedly they're not. They pay out like 91% or whatever, depending on the state. But the only thing I do well at will be like blackjack or I want to refund like live blackjack or craps. You know, where I don't even. Sometimes I leave it losing money, but I felt like I've won. just because I had such a good time, you know?
Yeah, right. Yeah, as long as you're there for an enjoyment rather than an addiction. I was thinking about like if the stock market or crypto is considered a gambling in the United States. If you have a crypto gambling problem, please call the 1-800 number.
Yeah.
Crypto.com supports gambling health. Like
You'd
what?
probably have to do that, wouldn't you? The crypto exchanges would have to pay into a fund to do like a helpline and stuff.
Yeah, just like the sports bet gambling in the United States and the casinos, they do the same thing.
It is definitely addictive. I mean, gambling is like, it's super easy to see how addictive it is. You can feel it kind of rewinding your brain a little bit. Like there's a certain energy about it. You know what I mean? That's like, yeah, I want to do more. Come on, come on. At least for me, I have a super addictive personality, but I sort of feel it with crypto too. I had one time where I invested in a 5x leveraged Shiba Inu coin. I put $50 in it and I made $1,000 in one day from it. 5x leveraged. That was on that Hotbit exchange that you introduced me to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, they have some kind of exotic tokens on here. What's this? 5x Shiba Inu. And I made $1,000 in a day from that.
Yeah, that's always fun. But there's the example why they say it's gambling, right? You're like
those sort of tokens, yeah. But I mean, if you just put it into Bitcoin, it's nowhere near as volatile now. It used to be more volatile, I think, than it is. Right now, it's sort of hovering around the upper 20,000s.
Bitcoin, to say that the growth that Bitcoin experienced over the last decade, I would be rivaled to say something created that amount of volume with that amount of increase and decrease. I don't know of anything that's comparable with that kind of volume. I mean, wasn't it valued almost over $1 trillion?
It was, yeah. It was at $1 trillion. Yeah.
Yeah. So name something that went to $1 trillion from nothing in the last 20 years.
And still isn't worth anything.
And still isn't, and then went back down to like 250 billion. So like that's crazy. So that's definitely,
and it's still difficult to find a use for these things. Like for example, with Ethereum, when they brought in smart contracts, people started trading pictures of gorillas for like $200,000, but you still can't buy a house with it. Like there are some companies doing it, trying to sell houses. I guess they've sold a few, but it's not really catching on as a legit way of like,
how do you back the house?
Well, supposedly you put the house into an LLC and then you link the ownership of the LLC to a smart contract on the blockchain, and you sell the LLC, which owns the house.
Yeah, I feel like you can lose your house.
I wouldn't touch it. No, I go with an escrow company and my lawyer.
Exactly.
Yeah.